Corey. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on our first Senate meeting for the fall quarter. I'd like to go a little bit over what I've done in the summer, but I'm encouraging you all to go to the ASUCR website to read the minutes. I think it'd be kind of repetitive for me to explain everything I've done when it's in the minutes. So first I'm going to go over the goals that I set for all of ASUCR that I would like us to all hold each other accountable to and for the student body to hold us accountable to. The first is increased student involvement. The second is organizational excellence, and the third is advocacy. So for increased student involvement, my goal this summer was to bring together the different entities of ASUCR's campus, whether that was through meetings with, I'm just going to give a full laundry list, TAPS, Barnes & Noble, Housing, Dining, Hub, Student Life, the Admissions Office, Alumni Association, meeting with the chancellors, meeting with the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, the Title IX Office, the Coastal Hall directors, ECAD meetings, meeting with directors, and that's it. So these meetings consisted of collaboration for different events that could benefit ASUCR as a whole, and collaboration on different projects where the goals of those sitting around this horseshoe last spring. This week, I specifically would like to address recent meetings that I've had. I met with the Coastal Hall directors to figure out goals for the Diversity Council with a couple of the people sitting around me today. It was an idea that Mr. Joe Barada and I decided upon, and the goal in that is to make Diversity Council as effective as possible this year. I also met with Outreach Director Kevin Chow with the Admissions Office, and I'm sure when Kevin arrives, if he does arrive, that he'll give more detail on that. There's a Get Involved tab currently on the ASUCR website that I encourage you all to check out. It was a goal of mine and EVP Armando Saldanas to implement this Get Involved tab on the website so that students are directed to our newly designed website, and so that they can learn about ways that they can get involved and join other entities of our campus. Let's see. For organizational excellence, one of my personal goals was to post a video blog every other week for the entirety of the year. The first video blog was posted today in the afternoon, encouraging students to come out to our Senate Meeting event. Later on in the year, the video blogs will consist of the different projects that our directors, senators, and executive cabinet are working on. And I'm hoping that these video blogs achieve the goals that I have in mind. Senate office hours are available on the ASUCR website for students to see along with each elected officer's goals for the year. Currently, I'm in the process of reviewing the applications for the First Year Fellowship Program, the Justices, and the Office of the President, Chief of Staff. I'm also working on the bylaws, and we'll take those to LRC soon. For advocacy, I wanted to talk about Council of Presidents. Yesterday was the first meeting that the Council of Presidents had with President Janet Napolitano. Some of the talking points included resources for undocumented students, reforming the policies concerning meetings with the UC Regents, housing for students, and UC Regent Statement of Principles, along with an update on the UCPD body cameras, which Janet Napolitano had promised to give us updates on from the last meeting this week. Thank you. That's the conclusion of my report.
Thank you, Ms. Rondo. We will now move to Vice President of Campus Internal Affairs, Michael Irvin.
Thank you, Corey. Good evening, everyone. Now, naturally, the progress of what's been accomplished as an executive cabinet over the summer surrounds around countless meetings, endless conversations with departments, more meetings. I can't overstate that, actually. But as President Ashley Toronto pointed out, the point is to probably spare some of the finer details because, as has been mentioned, for those who are very curious about the very finer details about the process of the Office of Internal Affairs and the Executive Cabinet Office, they're very well described in the minutes, which are readily available on the website. So instead, I want to instead focus on initiatives and proposals and projects that are in need of some attention or celebration. And for those in the galley who might be unaware, Internal Affairs is constitutionally one of the least defined positions, and as such, the work in the office is varied and has multiple dimensions. Before I delve into specific initiatives, I want to give thanks to all those who helped make this work possible. That includes everyone around the horseshoe whose effort and input has been invaluable in our office getting off on the right foot, as well as students who during the summer and under no obligation to the office took their time to come in and help make a positive difference on the campus. So I'll do my best to give appreciation by name. If I happen not to mention it, that does not mean in any way I'm not grateful for all the work that you've done so far. So with that, I want to turn to something of urgent importance on our campus, and some of you might already know what I'm about to mention on this horseshoe. It is food security, or moreover, food insecurity. And I've talked to just about anyone who would listen over this summer as my first priority. Definitely first priority is dedicated to ensuring that food security efforts at this campus were maximized. Now, I want to give a special thanks to Daniel Lopez, whose work all of last year was absolutely crucial in enabling this discussion to even take place. Also, Corey Willis, excellent with chairing the meeting, has been involved with food security initiatives longer than I have, and was the one who got me involved. For those on Senate or those who went to UCSA Congress, the topic of food insecurity at UCR has been heavily discussed. For those unfamiliar, it in essence boiled down is lacking consistent access to adequate nutrition. So what does that mean for us students? Well, just to give you a little few statistics, the nationwide average of those who suffer from food insecurity is 1 in 7. At the UC system, that number is 1 in 5. And at UCR, that number is as high as 1 in 3. 1 in 3 students who have had to skip a meal to keep a budget. 1 in 3 students who have had to defer other purchases, such as academic ones like buying textbooks, in order to keep their budget. It comes in many forms. It could be not just skipping meals, but you've had ramen for the last 4 nights in a row, or you haven't had fresh fruits or vegetables in the last 3 weeks. There's a whole range of issues, and the UC has begun addressing this in much fuller measure, a good sign, because it has been something that's been ignored for far too long. And at the beginning of the summer, our collaboration with administration, as well as Chicano student programs, a variety of offices throughout campus yielded our UCR Global Food Initiative Food Access and Security Plan, which, very long title, but very simple message, essentially detailing exactly how we would implement the funds from the UC. Through extensive lobbying, negotiations, and conversations, the UC Office of the President gave UCR $75,000 to open a food pantry and expand our food security efforts. And on top of that, our Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs donated an additional $10,000 to assist with the costs that are associated with the first year of what is going to be a very ambitious program. At the end of July, Senator Casey Fieldhart and I attended a GFI Global Food Initiative meeting in Santa Cruz. And there is the UC-wide discussion on location, distribution, partnership, student engagement, education, operating hours, survey information, and of course, most importantly, long-term funding. Because the money that we receive from the UC and VCSA, while incredibly helpful and valuable, has only been guaranteed for a single year. There's definitely a high interest in it. But I can tell you that our work at ASUCR with GFI, and as well as all the relevant campus organizations that have been involved and across the state, have ensured that this becomes a budget priority in future years, and that food security becomes the necessity it should be. Now, I'll skip ahead of a lot of the conversations. Just note that we have a space where the food pantry will be held, our very own bear's den. It's actually right downstairs across by the ATMs. It's an ideal location, centrally located, a physical space, meaning that we will no longer have to worry about mobile distribution. We have a partnership with Feeding America, formerly known as Second Harvest, in supplying our food donations, and although we are actively exploring other options to be able to help fulfill that, including ones that have access to more fresh produce, of which there will be updates later on throughout the year. Lastly, to kind of wrap this up, we'll be convening the ASUCR Food Security Committee, of which 2 Senators, Verna Chan and Nevin Pereira, have generously been able to donate their time to help assist with that. Students will soon be placed on that committee within the next couple weeks. And I'll take the time to explain the scope and mission of the committee in fuller detail in the upcoming Senate meetings. Another item that has been a large effort from our office has been the work of securing an eco bike share program for our campus. A bike share has been in the works since February, since last year, and has made considerable progress. In the interests of time, and as well as ensuring I don't want to overshare and spread all the good news at once, I will wait off for an in-depth discussion once I can present to you an upcoming meeting and kind of give you results from that. Now, following that line, and also because I like making special presentations and making sure that each things have their own agenda item, things that are being followed up more on in depth will be followed up with their own relevant specific Senate meetings. We'll go ahead and spread the wealth. I'll end with mentioning our upcoming food truck festival, which my office, along with our amazing marketing director, Kat Chang, have been working to get a great start to the new year by bringing 24 food trucks to campus and showing off our Highlander pride. The date is Thursday, October 22nd, so please don't miss it. It's a great event. It comes around only once in a long while. And if you're interested in volunteering, we are currently accepting. We'd be more than happy to have you on board. Plus, you get a free T-shirt, so you know there's a good return on that investment. With that, I'd like to thank you all sincerely, and that will conclude my report for this evening.
All right, thank you, Vice President of Campus Internal Affairs, Michael Irvin. Moving on, Vice President of Finance, Shafi Karim. Did you rescind the motion?
I rescind the motion. Hello, everyone. So our Finance Committee hearing will be held Mondays from 2 to 4, starting next week. We had over 100 applicants for the Finance Committee from the campus-wide email, and the top applicants will be given an interview to make the final decision. Our next topic will be finance bylaw changes. With the feedback from Teresa, our financial operation manager, and Maggie, our organization specialist, our finance committee will be proposing finance bylaw changes, which will be presented to LRC and then to the Senate. Next thing, I wanted to congratulate Momo Hussein for a great job in the UCSA Congress. He took more people than any other external president did before. So I know his goal was to take as much students to the next conference. So me and Teresa had been did some calculation, and we found that there is a rollover from the SUIP 2015 of about $7,800. So this will give Momo Hussein more breathing room to accept more people to attend more conferences. Next thing I want to talk about is the ASUCR budget sustainability. During the last few years, our expenses have been exceeding our income. The reason is because our enrollment has been stagnant, and our last referendum that has passed was over 30 years ago. With the help of pro staff, the Finance Committee will be looking at every line item in the ASUCR budget for a possible streamlining. The goal is to reduce expenses to allow funding for service to the student body, like art gear and final parking. This process will help mitigate annual shrinkage of the ASUCR reserves. My next topic will be about art gear. I reached out to several vendors to obtain the cheapest price while also making sure they are sweatshop free and are of nice quality sweaters. My next thing is about permitless final parking. I've been working with President Asha Harano and our CIA Michael Irvin on this, and good news is that it seems to be on track to happen within this quarter by fall quarter 2015. And that will be all.
Thank you, Vice President of Finance, Shafi Karim. All right, moving, Vice President of External Affairs, Momo Hussein.
I'd like to motion for a 10-minute recess, as previously discussed with the chair of the meeting, for the purpose of swearing in myself and any other members of the horseshoe that have not been sworn in. We wanted to wait until the president was here to do the swearing in. Can I have a second for that motion? Second.
Seconded by Senator Dalshan Bozen. All in favor? Opposed? And abstained? With a vote of 12-0-0, this meeting will go into a 10-minute recess for the the meeting will go into recess until 6:55 for the purpose of swearing in all members of the horseshoe who have not been sworn in yet.
Above all else,
Above all else,
I will remain accountable to the student body
I will remain accountable to the student body
and further the goals and objectives of this organization.
and further the goals and objectives of this organization.
Congratulations, Michael Irvin. Emily A. please repeat after me. In the presence of honored guests and members here assembled,
In the presence of honored guests and the members here assembled,
I
I, Emily Yang,
swear to uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Associated Students of the University of California, Riverside,
swear to uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Associated Students of the University of California, Riverside,
and will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the powers designated to me by this Constitution.
and will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the powers designated to me by this Constitution,
I promise to abide by all university and state policies
I promise to abide by all university and state policies
and will maintain conduct becoming of a student representative.
and will maintain conduct becoming of a student representative.
Above all else,
Above all else,
I will remain accountable to the student body
I will remain accountable to the student body
and further the goals and objectives of this organization.
and will further the goals and objectives of this organization.
Congratulations, Emily. Please repeat after me. In the presence of honored guests and members here assembled,
In the presence of honored guests and members here assembled,
I
I, Corey Wu,
swear to uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Associated Students of the University of California, Riverside,
swear to uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Associated Students of the University of California, Riverside,
and will faithfully execute to the best of my ability
and will faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the powers designated to me by this Constitution.
the powers designated to me by this Constitution.
I promise to abide by all university and state policies
I promise to abide by all university and state policies
and will maintain conduct becoming of a student representative.
and will maintain conduct becoming of a student representative.
Above all else,
Above all else,
I will remain accountable to the student body
I will remain accountable to the student body
and further the goals and objectives of this organization.
and further the goals and objectives of the organization.
Congratulations to you all.
Thank you to everyone in the galley for your patience. We have 2 more minutes, just waiting for a few more people to come trickle in, and we will reconvene.
For you? Oh, you're weird. I have 1 physics, 1 chemistry, 1 biology. You don't talk the class about no, my friends.
All right, it is 6:55. As we have quorum, we will continue the meeting. We will continue with the agenda where we left off, which is Marketing and Promotions Director Catherine Chang's report. It's actually Momo, Vice President of External Affairs, Momo Hussein. We will do Catherine Chang first and then return back. My apologies for the mix-up.
Hello everyone. Okay, so the ASUCR website has been improved and updated. I added slideshows of photos of us tabling. There's also a cluster assignment tab, a get involved tab, and updated contact info of the Senate and Pro Staff. The layout of the website has also changed to look more appealing and more accessible to users. Over the summer, we tabled at every orientation session, including transfer orientation. Along with tabling, we handed out free giveaways such as phone chargers, pens, pencils, sunglasses, liners, etc. And I also created an updated brochure about ASUCR. And some of them are still in the office, so if you ever want any, yeah. Senate meeting flyers. The marketing team created Senate meeting flyers to hand out to the student body so they are aware of when Senate meetings are. they were handed out in the freshman dorms. We also have some in the office too. The ARGR design, I have been working on the ARGR design for the freshman sweater giveaways. It has now been finalized and ready for printing. And the marketing committee applications, I've received over 80 applications for the marketing committee, and I am currently in the process of interviewing people. The marketing committee positions will be finalized by the end of week 2. My goal for this year is to have weekly tabling every Wednesday. I will be sending out a form for you all to sign up when you are available to table, and everyone must table at least once per quarter. I also want to create an event called Meet the Senate. I will also send out a form to you all to see which day everyone can be there for this meet and greet. This is a way for the student body to get familiar with their student representatives and also allow them to learn more about ASUCR.
Thank you, Marketing Promotion Director Catherine Strang. Moving back and forward of the agenda, Vice President of External Affairs, Momo Hussain.
Hello everyone. Hope everyone's week 1 is off to an excellent start. Just going to report on some of the activities the office has been doing over the summer and the general composition and purpose of the Office of External Affairs. To start off, as an introduction to External Affairs, the Office of the Vice President of External Affairs is the office solely responsible for legislative and organizing advocacy, and we represent the students of UC Riverside on a local, statewide, and national level, and this is including but not limited to the United States Student Association and the University of California Student Association. As an office organizational flowchart, the positions that are in my office currently that have been staffed are the Legislative Affairs Director, Oscar Loera, Legislative Affairs Director for also the Director of Islander Lobby Corps, Brian Nguyen, Campus Organizing Director that sits on UCSA Board, is Faiza Zahid, our Legislative Affairs Director, Brian Nguyen, and our other Campus Organizing Director who chairs the Highlander Action Committee is Ayana Best. And then we still have yet to fill the vote director position, and we also still have yet to fill 2 UCSA campaign coordinator positions. And the freshman fellows will be interviewed next week. What is UCSA? Just to familiarize some members of the Horseshoe again with UCSA and members of the Galley who are unfamiliar, UCSA is the University of California Student Association and the official representative of over 240,000 undergraduate, graduate, and professional students. UCSA's structure and composition is composed of the student body presidents of each of the UC campuses, which make up the Council of Presidents that our President Ashley Arano so graciously sits on. The Board of Directors is composed of all of the external vice presidents, their campus organizing directors, and their legislative affairs directors. And the Council of Student Fees is composed of the chairs of all of the SFACs on each campus. And SFAC is the Student Fee Advisory Committee. UCSA also has board meetings every month, and they rotate campuses. I'm pleased to announce that this month's board meeting will be held in Riverside, October 9 through 11. I invite everyone in the Horseshoe, and I invite the Galley to come to this meeting. It's not often that such a, stakeholder in the UC visits our campus, and we should take advantage. Our Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, Jim Sandoval, will be speaking at the meeting, as is customary for each VCSA of each campus to speak at the meeting. UCSA also holds 3 conferences every year. Those conferences are the Student Lobby Conference, which happens in April, and students are taken up to Sacramento to lobby legislators. And the Student of Color Conference, which is happening in November. The dates are November 6th through 8th in Berkeley. I invite you all again to attend this conference. It's honestly a wonderful opportunity for students all across the UC to come together and really connect and discuss the issues that are collectively affecting us all and discuss how we can tackle them together. And then the last conference is the UCSA Congress, which is annual every year. This past year it was held in Irvine. I'm pleased to announce that we took a record number of students. It was a statewide record. It's unprecedented. We took 108 students to this conference, and this was done with the financial advice of the other members of the executive cabinet. We withdrew our travel funds for the United States Student Association because we were no longer members, and we thought the better use of the money would be to take more students to California conferences because we were no longer members. And that's why we were able to take 108 students. Let's see. At this conference, there are also system-wide opportunities, and these opportunities are available on a rolling basis. System-wide committees are region committees that any student can sit on. Any member of the UC can sit on these committees. There's a region on budget and planning. There's a committee on long-term planning, and these applications are every month. My office will be inviting the rest of the campus to apply to these, and members of the worship as well. To talk about vision and goals for the upcoming school year, some of the goals that my office has for the upcoming school year is to have a safer and more welcoming neighborhood with the, redress of lighting issues around our campus. For example, Ruston, Blaine, parts of Canyon Crest, even parts on the backside of campus over by King and Lot 30, making sure that things are more well lit because crime does go down in more well lit areas. And talking about the more welcoming neighborhood, it's important to address law enforcement as well. We're going to address and attempt to reform the culture and relations between the students here and law enforcement, not just with UCPD, but the city of Riverside as well. Given the climate of the United States right now, law enforcement and racial tension is definitely in the spotlight, and it's something that organization of housing and reform of the housing ordinance is another priority of this office. Organization of housing is not limited to Creek Row, International House, Afro House, Latino House, Veterans House. There's all types of clubs and organizations that could get involved. So this isn't limited to Creek Row, just for FYI purposes. And the housing ordinance reform, just to give you all a little background on it, the residential protection overlay zone was just passed this last city council meeting, September 22nd. The overlay zone is to take the place of the moratorium that has been on the city for 2 years. The moratorium expired last year and it was extended for a year. Pretty much the moratorium, for some of you who are unfamiliar with it, limited the occupancy of houses in the city of Riverside and added all types of other restrictions that were not exactly college student friendly. And so the overlay zone is set to take the replacement of that, and the overlay zone, if you look at the designated regions, and we'll be discussing this in upcoming Senate meetings in more detail, are areas like Flanders, Canyon Crest, Highlander, Spruce, areas all over there where college students are very dense. And the overlay zone has parking restrictions, minimum bedroom size restrictions, minimum living room size restrictions, etc. All of these designed to drive college students out. Diversity Task Force is another initiative of this office. UCSA will be working on a diversity initiative to increase the percentage of African American students in the UC, and I'm pleased to say that our campus will also be taking part in that. And voter registration, as you all know, 2016 is coming up. It's going to be a very big election year, and the primaries are less than a month away. Or the California primaries are actually in February, but November elections are next month. So we're trying to have as many students registered to vote as possible, and we'll have a pretty strong voter registrar throughout the year with talks partnering with Calgary as well. And the Black Lives Matter campaign will be very visible on our campus, not only in terms of actions, but passing legislation that myself, Corey, Senator Dalshan Bosa are already looking at, like the prison divestment resolution. Office operations, I've traveled a lot this past summer in the summer minutes. Office hours are Mondays and Thursdays from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock for this quarter. Hiring, my staff has been hired. We'll be doing interviews for the both director and freshman fellows next week. And lastly, there's a budgetary shift in the USSA, and Shop Program notified me that we actually have leftover money for student conferences. So we'll have an additional $7,000 to take students to Berkeley. Let's see. Okay, and then to wrap up my report, here are some current and upcoming projects that we're working on. We're putting out a Student of Color Conference applications this weekend. They'll be open for 2 weeks. We're going to do extensive Facebook advertising. We're going to shoot to take another 100 students, but only if it's within our budget. And we'll be looking at, the Costco Hall, we'll be looking at student affairs to provide additional funding to make up for that deficit. And so that's a conversation we'll also be having. The Secretary of State for California, Alex Padilla, will be here November 12th for a small meet and greet to talk about civic engagement. You all are more than welcome. Members of the worship, I'm pleased to say you all have VIP status at this event. So I highly encourage you all to show up to get coffee with the Secretary of State, the third most powerful man in California. The Million Student March will be November 12th. And this is not only a UC initiative, but a lot of colleges all across the nation will be protesting, and the march will be more elaborated on. Corey and myself are working on the particulars of the action and publicizing that as well. And that about concludes my report. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Vice President of External Affairs, Momo Hussein. Moving on, Personnel Director, Emily Yang.
Hello everyone. So over summer, and what I'm still working on right now is actually senator placements on committees. So this year, each senator currently actually sits on 3 committees, even though according to our bylaws, currently they have to sit a minimum of only 2 committees. I am actually going to be working on my bylaws and editing my bylaws so that we can go ahead and say that senators should sit on at least 3 committees. Another thing that I've been working on since summer is committee files. These files are going to be on the committee, just a more physical format of these files so that way I can communicate with committee chairs and get minutes and member applications on these files so that we have something to pass along to the next personnel director and do something that will organize the personnel director position a little bit more. So emails to join the committees have actually been sent out. The applications are out ever since last week. The follow-up emails will actually go out tomorrow in regards to interviews and what the follow-up process is going to be. And I will actually be partnering up with Catherine Chang, our marketing director, to promote these new committees. Recently, I've actually worked with Amy to put up the committee listings on our ASUCR page. And we're going to put it under the Get Involved tab in the ASUCR page as well. And something else that I'm continually working on is also to elaborate more information or to update the information on these committees on the website to have more elaborate information. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Personnel Director Emily Yang. Moving on, Outreach Director Ken Chow.
Hello all. So as of right now, my report, I met up with Alex Reeves from the undergraduate admissions and we talked about and we brainstormed what we could do for outreach events. We want to do something joint-wise with the undergraduate admissions because Alex Reeves, he has a really big passionate for outreaching out to students. He gave me the choice of either having our Honor Day or Discover Day, where I could have my own outreach event. So ASUCR and undergraduate admissions will come together. For the next thing, risk management, hub scheduling. A lot of outreach directors for other clubs and organizations, they do not know how to work the process of planning an outreach event. So what we have also discussed is that hosting a workshop with risk management, hub scheduling, undergraduate admissions, to give them the resources for future outreach directors so they know how to plan their outreach event. And also by making a workshop, we also have ASUCR, risk management, hub scheduling, undergraduate admissions to work together and we'll build a relationship from there. Other than that, I've been working on the applications for outreach grants. It should be coming out by the end of this week. It'll be in early November due to my committee placement. And that is my conclusion for my report.
Okay, thank you, Outreach Director Kevin Chow. Moving forward to the agenda, we are now at Section H, Public Comment. So for those of you in the gallery, public comment is intended to be used to address the horseshoe about things that occurred during the meeting. So if there's anyone who would like to address the horseshoe about anything that was discussed in the meeting or further clarification, please step up to the podium.
Okay, so I don't want to start the year off by not following your order here, but I actually don't have a public comment. Unfortunately, I missed the beginning of the meeting and had a chance to extend my greetings to you on behalf of the Chancellor at the beginning of the new academic year. I hope that each and every one of you had a restful summer, had a good opportunity to refresh. I know I saw many of you and worked with many of you throughout the summer period. I just wanted to commend you for the work that you've already done in getting ready for this academic year. As you know, the administration here is as supportive as we can be for our Associated Student Government. We know that you have a very aggressive agenda set for this year, that is centered on the best interests of our students, and we look forward to working with you as we proceed through fall, winter, and spring quarter. And I just wanted to close by thanking each and every one of you for dedicating your time and efforts to supporting UC Riverside and our student body. We know that the work that you do in some at times is not one that's fully appreciated, but we fully appreciate the efforts you're putting forward. So thanks for giving me a few moments, and sorry for breaking order a bit, but if I had another event I could be at, so I wasn't able to make the open forum. So thanks.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor Sandoval.
Nice tie, by the way.
Were there any other members of the gallery that wanted to address the horseshoe for public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move forward with the agenda to roundtable and announcements. So the way we'll do it, we'll just go left to right. So if anyone on the horseshoe has any announcements or anything they would like to announce to either the horseshoe or the galley, you can use this time. If not, please feel free to say pass. So starting Senator Dawson Boson.
Pass.
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 Hello, I am Senator Nick Carrillo. I just wanted to make an announcement from my other office, the Asian Pacific Student Programs, that next Wednesday from 6 to 8 we will be having our Fall Welcome Festival. Unfortunately, the horseshoe will be here, but for the galley, you're welcome to attend. We're going to have free food from La Ojo de Agua and performances from students as well. And that's all. Pass.
I just wanted to thank Corey Willis for doing an amazing job chairing this meeting. The MESC will be having a mixer next Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. You all didn't note that earlier.
LRC meetings will be Mondays at 4:30 p.m. for this quarter. I have to double check because there's actually an inconsistency in the bylaws, I believe. The Constitution says the meetings don't have to be open, but the bylaws say that they are. So I'm going to double check that, but they will be at 4:30 p.m. in the ASUCR conference room, more than likely.
Real quick, also, currently there are 2 senators that sit on the External Affairs Executive Committee. I want to give a shout out to Melissa Vargas and Desiree Jackson. We need 1 more senator to sit on the committee. It's not mandatory that we have 3, but for the amount of work that we're going to be doing this year, I'd like to have everyone involved. So I'm inviting you all to sit on the committee if you're interested.
Pass.
ASPV will be having our very first Highlander Palooza at the Rec Center tomorrow from 1 to 6.
Pass.
Pass.
Hello. Okay, this is like a really random thing, but I'm pretty excited about it. But President of Ghana is going to come to UC Riverside on October 2, and he's going to be speaking on the African diaspora, possibilities of privileges of empowerment in this technological age. And I think that's a really cool topic, and I'm excited to go. So, yeah. I encourage you all to go as well. Thank you.
Hello. Hi. So fall formal recruitment for College Panhellenic Association will be this weekend. Unfortunately, the deadline to enroll in recruitment was at 5 p.m. today, and they're not taking any more registrations. And the one other thing is that SIGAP is hosting a fundraiser in support of their late brother, Jonathan Chavez, who passed away this past summer. They are selling bracelets, 1 for $3 and 2 for $5, as well as SIGAP calendars. Visit their letters for them. They take Venmo, cash, anything. Yeah.
Pass.
Pass.
Hi. So I currently sit on the Mayor's College Forum, which consists of 4 different universities around Riverside. and I'm happy to announce that the mayor is actually going to be coming to UCR next month in October. Currently, we have set the tentative date to be October 14th. It's going to be a Wednesday during UNERS. However, it's still up in the air, and we are still confirming. I'm currently working with Angel Rodriguez, which is in the office of the Chancellor, as well as our President, Ashley Verano, and of course, Oscar Laura, which works in the external office. But more details to come. Thank you.
On behalf of Vice President of Campus Internal Affairs, Michael Irvin, who is in class currently, he would like to ask Eileen Tovar to present on GCAP announcement. So, if you'd like to come up.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, in Senate Meeting Valley. My name is Eileen Tovar, and my goal would like for me to talk about one of the events that we're working GCAP with Art Garden, which is our fall movie nights. That will be hosting starting October 8th, will be our first movie, and it will be October 8th, October 22nd, October 29th, and November 12th. It will basically be showing a mixture of, like kid-friendly movies and also movies, focusing on sustainability. So you should definitely come out. The first one will be starting at 7 p.m. So by 7 p.m. we'll also have, like food. Good ones will bring like a food truck, so you just bring a blanket, bring some friends, it'll be really fun. And we also have another event called, we're having the Estimate, which is like a political group that kind of like do like political satire, they're really funny. And we'll be basically showing their documentary on our campus, and that will be held on October 6th, which is a Tuesday, and that'll be from 6:30 to 9:30. We're actually having some of the Estimate people come and do like an intro and also Q&A after the documentary. So I really recommend going on the website, look up Yes Men, check out the little trailer for the documentary. It's really fun, it's really enjoyable. So we'll also be hosting a workshop the following day, I believe, October 7th, which we'll be posting more on our GCAP Facebook page. So keep an eye out for that. So thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. So before we move to adjournment, as Rena mentioned, I wanted us all to take a moment of silence for Jonathan Chavez, if we could. Thank you. With that, moving forward to the agenda, we are at adjournment. Oh, if I could get a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion by Senator Desiree Jackson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wenyu Chow. All those in favor? Opposed? And abstained? With a vote of 12-0-0, the motion passes.